So this is the yucca. It's most commonly referred to as soapweed. One of the other common names is Great Plains yucca. This particular variety stretches all the way from the Gulf Coast of Texas all the way up through the south central northern high plains all the way up into Canada. It's ubiquitous. It's an interesting plant. It's rather more or less a biennial. It generally has a vegetative phase for 1 year and then a flowering phase the next year. As you can see here, this is actually hopefully you can see this is actually a colony. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 individual plants here. Some of them are in the vegetative phase, and this one here is in the flowering phase, and as you can see, it shot off the stem with these flowers that are greenish white. Another one of the interesting things about this plant is that it relies on the yucca moth largely for pollination, and pollination is required for reproduction in these plants. And the yucca moth itself relies on this plant as a nesting site and a food source for the caterpillars. The moth lays the eggs inside of the flower and takes pollen from the stigma, lays eggs inside the stamen, and transfers pollen into the stamen in the process of laying the eggs. Now the eggs hatch out inside the plant, and the caterpillars begin feeding on the embryonic seeds. And each one of these flowers produces hundreds and hundreds of seeds. The caterpillars don't eat all of the seeds. They leave enough for the plant to reproduce. As these flowers mature into seed pods, they become a 3-petaled, and you might be able to see that these flowers have 3 petals. And they become a 3-petaled pod that's held together under tension, and it looks initially like a short, fat, 3-petaled cucumber, if you can follow that. And as it matures and the pods dry out, the seeds develop. The caterpillars continue to eat the seeds. Later in the year, when the pod completely dries out, and remember it was formed under tension with a lot of fibers holding it together, when those fibers dry out, they eventually break. And when they break, the pod flings open and scatters these tiny little magenta colored seeds everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but all around the plant. It's actually pretty startling if you're standing next to one of them and that happens, because there's a crack and these little granules, seeds go flying about, and it's kind of remarkable. It's not something that you see every day. And from those seeds, little yuccas grow, go through a vegetative phase for 1 year, come back and flower. Yucca moths find them. They exist in harmony, in symbiosis. Everything in nature is interconnected, and we're part of nature. We're interconnected to nature too. As you can see and probably hear, maybe not see, but hear over my shoulder, is Interstate 80. Interstate 80 cuts right across nature's beautiful plains, but it's not anything that's aside from nature. Interstate 80 is a human construct, and humans are part of nature. We're all interconnected. Food for thought from the EJE Ranch. Thanks for watching.